Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. How is everyone doing today? Happy Thanksgiving if you are from Canada. If not, then it's just a regular weekend for you. Here in Canada we had Thanksgiving, which is just like eating turkey, getting fat, doing your fun stuff, drinking a lot, all that typical stuff. I went for a nice hike with my mother. I had turkey and brisket. My husband made brisket. It was delicious. So for you guys who don't know me, my name is Joan McLean and I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday for you to bring you a true crime that has happened here in Canada while I do my makeup. So if you like true crimes and you like makeup, maybe this is the channel for you. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below and I will be here for you most Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes I don't do it just because I don't feel like it. You know how it is. You get in those moods, whatever. So yeah, I'm here usually every Tuesday and Thursday. So how's everyone doing? What did you guys do for Thanksgiving? If you didn't have Thanksgiving, what did you do instead? I would like to know. So yeah, nothing else new here. I was AMA last week. AMI, I think it's what it's called. Just, dealing with some stuff and was a little depressed and wanted to just have my own time for myself and get my life back together. And I've been doing that. I've been eating healthy. I've been going to the gym. I've been staying active. I've been researching, doing a lot of stuff. So I am ready to go. I'm ready to go with our next case. So this one is different. I was reading it and I was like, oh, that happened here in Canada? Like, that's weird. You don't really expect to see that in Canada. But I guess people can be brainwashed over the littlest things when it comes to cults and religion. So this is what the story is about. It's about a small Inuit tribe or hometown that just got brainwashed into thinking that somebody was Jesus, and then there was a massacre. So we're going to get right into the story. We're going to jump right into it, and it is the Belcher Island Massacre. So let's get into it. Yeah. Like always, starting with my eyelids and progressively going down my face, I guess is how we're gonna say that. And yeah, so we're gonna get into the story in a second. Boop, boop, boop. I'm gonna start with my eyes. I've been really liking the journey of my eyes to my face, and I realized with my last couple videos and just me overall, I've done a lot of different colors to keep things interesting, but I've never done a green eye. So I'm going to do a green eye today, but I'm going to put black on my face to really just, freak you guys out. So let's get into this. So we're going to get into the Belcher Island, I believe is how you say it, or Belicher. And I'm going to tell you the story about what happened here. So the hunting was poor in Canada's Belcher Island in the winter of 1941. So this story is an older story. It's, not new by any means, but still very interesting and kind of relevant. A meteor shower led some Inuits to speculate that the world was coming to an end, and was around this time that a 27-year-old tribesman, shaman named Charlie, I'm just going to put the name up here. It's Ouyer Urak, proclaimed himself as Jesus Christ, which is what everyone does when they see a meteor shower, right? They just instantly assume that they're Jesus Christ. So he just woke up one night, went outside his house and said, oh, meteor shower. There must be a new God coming, and that new God is me. So as this gentleman said that, hey, I am Jesus, I am the new God, you need to obey by me, he also decided that he was going to appoint his pal Peter to be just another person of God and just kind of go, you know what? I'm not the only one that needs to know this. I'm not the only Jesus Christ here. There's going to be somebody else. And I'm going to appoint my friend Peter, who happened to be the tallest man on the island, and who happened to be the best hunter and ice navigator as God. So he said, I'm not the only God here. We're also going to talk about my friend Peter here too. Just because, I need somebody else to back me. And if you're going to find somebody to be like your bodyguard who you're also going to appoint, I'm picking the tallest man. I'm going to pick the tallest man out there just because if he's the tallest, he might also be the strongest, or he's intimidating, and I need somebody who's intimidating because I don't want people to just be like, come at me and be like, you're not Jesus, you're not this. If I have somebody who's going to like show a little bit of intimidation and also is going to follow me, I might get my point across. I'm going to be doing a spooky look because it's Halloween. It's Halloween season, so I'm attempting to do spookier looks just to make it fun and festive, So the duo's first act of God was to just get rid of, the first holy act was to get rid of the sled dogs by killing them. So they put out that they didn't want the sled dogs anymore and they needed to kill them. And a lot of people were like, that's weird. Because up there's not that much transportation. You can't really drive wherever you want to go, type of thing. So all you really do have is your sled dogs to get you around. And if you kill the sled dogs, then your transportation is cut right in half. So he ordered the killing of the sled dogs. One teenage girl, Sarah, publicly questioned the new religious order and was denounced as a Satanist right off the jump. They're like, you don't believe me? You must believe in the devil. I just got something in my eye. So it was instantly like, you're a Satanist. We don't care what you have to say. She was killed by the religious leader, who hammered her head in with a barrel of a rifle, and then more murders soon to follow after that one. Where this took place was not that bad of a remote place. It wasn't too remote, or even just like, isolated in any sense. It was a bit at the time. It was 1940s at the time, so it was a bit isolated, but not 100%. It had rocks all around the terrain. It had 150 rocks, eastern waters of the Hudson Bay. So it was still kind of a bigger island. If you don't know where the Hudson's Bay is, it's right above Ontario. A lot of people know what Ontario is just because it's like our biggest province and the only one that really gets talked about. So it's right above Hudson's Bay. It has pounding glacial winds. It's frozen seas into the North American, like an icy dagger. Like does not sound like the best place to live to me. I bet you the people who grew up there probably love it. But for me, it would be a no. In a book, At the End of the World, A True Story of Murder in the Arctic, Lawrence said that the Belcher murders was our present day screen lives. He's seen an ongoing obsession with digital and religion until itself that a signal way of life coming to an end. That might sound like he just kind of really showed everyone that like what happened there wasn't something that people should look down upon. It can happen anywhere pretty much, and we've seen it happen everywhere. You have this new person who comes to the island and all of a sudden says, I'm Jesus, I'm this person, follow me. And if you, again, he had some big powerhouses with him. He had some big guys who he all of a sudden was like, you know what? These guys, if you don't believe that were Jesus Christ and stuff like that, we're just going to have to kill you. So the man who decided that he wanted to be Jesus. I'm going to put some glitter on my eye now. So the guy who said that he wanted to be Jesus and he should be known as Jesus, the one man who could read the Bible, talked about the truthfulness, literature, and thoughtfulness. There's this one guy up in the sky known as God, and there's a guy named Jesus who died to save us. And people who hadn't then sensed the abstract motion of the religious couldn't have taken all that so literally. One of the women, Maya, thought of Jesus kayaking down from the sky, an individual who could come down and save us by kayaking down to earth. People who were at the fore of where the people were didn't really quite understand the culture or the religion or the Bible or could read and write. So they were all basing what they knew from what this guy had to say, and that was it. Which is scary if, he's taking vulnerable people, he's saying things, and he's like, you guys got to listen to me. I'm the new prophet. Due to the fact that no one really knew how to read, write the book of the Lord or anything like that, there was a lot of outside presence too in this small little town and village, but a lot of people didn't know how to really utilize that or how to work technology and stuff. So this is when these people started to really pick apart the small village and really use the power that they had against everyone else. So one of the things was Charlie was a bit of a shorter man, but he made himself seem very big when he would read the Bible and push his beliefs into the townspeople. He used Peter as a key figure. He was the contact with the outside world because he was the best hunter, he was the best fisherman. Hence, he was God because he could bring all this stuff that, they needed to survive. They needed food to survive. And who was the best hunter who could supply that was Peter. And if you didn't have food and stuff, you weren't going to survive. He was the one person on the island. Because of his contact with the outside world, he could have stopped this, but in fact, he was swept up in it all. And I think the fact that they didn't have food, they were starving. Like I said at the beginning, it was a tough year for them out there. They didn't have any food. They didn't have anything at all. It was a tough hunting year. The animals weren't there that they usually had. It wasn't enjoyable. So this guy bringing food, this guy bringing all this stuff really was like, okay, maybe he is God. And God sent him to help save the little town. The whole population of the small little town were believers that these two individuals were sent from God to help them. They were believers, but they were terrified to say they weren't because they saw what happened to the first person who denounced that she didn't believe. Remember Sarah that I talked about and how she said that, I don't think you guys are actually God, and they're like, that sucks, kill you. So people were really scared because they saw what happened to the young teenage girl. They said, you're not God, you're not Jesus, and she died. So a lot of them just kind of kept their mouth shut and were like, you know what, we'll just ride the wave. I cannot speak. When people started to not believe that Charlie and Peter were God, they had to think of dramatic things to really, tell people like, no, we are God, and here's some of the things. So although 9 people were murdered altogether on this island, a batch of them were killed when Peter's sister unleashed all the old people and children onto this ice. She told them that if you go onto this ice and you don't dress and you take all your clothes off, Peter and Charlie will save you and you won't freeze to death, was the whole idea there. It's cold. So the temperature was like 20 degrees temperature in February and forced them to take off their clothes. They were like, get out there and live your best life kind of thing. So she forced them to take off their clothes. She ran around the village declaring the world was at the end, with the Inuit dogs being all killed too, which is a scary thing that can whack off your ear and take out your eye. So they're saying that like the dogs were all whipped. She's like, we're killing the dogs. These people on the ice going crazy. World's gonna end, and we have to listen to these people because they're going to tell us what we need to do to get to the other side and to be saved. In a way, so the 6 people all froze to death on the water, on the ice that she sent them to. So they all froze to death, and all of them related to Peter. So the brute force guy, it was all of his family, and all of them died which is kind of sad because this guy was like, he kind of went crazy, was like, I'll save you if you go do this. I'll show you. Nope. After he became aware of that, he realized what a terrible mistake he had made, but there was nothing he could do about it. It was already too late. So he started to come to realization, like, maybe I'm not God. Maybe the world isn't maybe the world isn't coming to an end. Maybe I'm just an asshole. And he was. The mortars finally stopped when the people of the mainland found out about them from Peter. He was very divided when he was God on the one hand, but he was also a fairly rational human being. So he's like, you know what? Whoops. I'm God. I'm Jesus. I'm God. I'm like the best thing in the world. People should know about me. However, I just murdered my whole family, 6 people in my family, and I'm stating everyone's going to die, and Charlie's kind of just chilling here like, I'm not really doing anything. And he's the one doing all the work. He's the one killing everyone, right? So he's like, maybe I'll tell people about this. So at the time, he was like, you know what? I need to tell the mainland people, and he did. So he went back to Hudson's Bay, and he led an exhibition of scientists in the 1930s to the island. He knew a little bit of English and was like, 3 people have been murdered, because at the time, all he knew was that 3 people, and the 6 were occurring when he was in his absence. So he knew 3 people were murdered, and he was like, yo, shit's getting real on this island. Can you guys come check this out? And they're like, yeah, sure. So he only knew about the 3 people because at the time his sister was like, get out there, God will save you, live your best life, blah, 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 blah. And they all freeze to death, and they're all Peter's family. Immediately, the Hudson's Bay Company telegraphed the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and said, you better come, there is murders on this island. Not only were there no ministers or priests on this island, there were no police either. So again, very secluded. The only thing that they had was these crazy guys going, I'm Jesus today. So when the police and stuff got there, they're like, there's all these naked old people and kids on this like ice. They found out about the other murders of people who said that they denounced that this guy ain't Jesus, and then he was just stabbing people's faces, stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, you're gonna be arrested. So they arrested Peter and one other, which was, as we know, the Charlie boy, who just kind of sat back and was like, Peter's God, let's let Peter go crazy and do all this stuff. So they went to hard labor, and after that, it was never really spoken about again. These 2 individuals who came and said that they were Jesus Christ, and that, people needed to follow them, or else they will die. Nothing was really said after that with them. They just kind of, even when you look up Canadian history, you never hear about this. There was a guy who was doing a report about the Belcher, and he said he went around 9/11. He said there weren't many TVs or anything like that on the island itself. There were really old ones, and he was curious about how far they moved on from the murders, because again, it's such a small island, kind of generational. People who live there have lived there for years and years and years, and he went and was like just kind of wondering what was going about. He watched the skyscrapers, how it was a crazy event, and then he talked to the people about what happened here on the island. A lot of the people who lived on the island did not want to talk about it at all. They believed it was very embarrassing to them. They talked about if my kid was murdered or my house was robbed, would I keep bringing that up? No, because it's embarrassing. So why am I going to bring up this? They found that the individual who used the Bible and the meteor shower and things that they loved, like hunting, against them, and kind of was like, you know what? We're Jesus Christ because we can do all this stuff for you, and how people bought into it so quick really affected them, and how they never want to speak about it again. I know a lot of them very much struggle with being with religious itself. A lot of their families were the ones who bought into this and who decided that, hey, we're going to let these guys kill our family members because we think that they're Jesus Christ. So I'm going to put my eyelashes on and put some little bit of eyeliner on, and I'll be right back. So I put my lashes on, and got a little green poison ivy thing going on today. So yeah, that was the one thing I liked about this story, was how you don't hear much about cults and following and stuff like that has happened in Canada. Like, you have Waco in the States, you have Jim Jones in the States, you have People's Temple, you have the one where the bald guy said that a meteor was coming, and if you kill yourself at a certain time, you go up to the meteor and you start a new life. I forget what that one's called. Golden something, I believe. But you don't hear much about it here in Canada. And I really like cults. Cults are one of my favorite things. Damn. Cults are one of my favorite things out there. Yeah, cults are one of my favorite things out there. Love them. Well, I don't know why. I just like the idea of somebody who's like batshit crazy somehow can get all these people following them. Like Trump, almost in a sense. Just a little side note. But yeah, and I'm like, I don't get how that happens, especially when like, like they're like, I'm Jesus Christ, I came down, stuff like that. So I'm like, what? Like, I'd be like, you're crazy. See you later. But this one was a whole different one. They really utilized the environment. They utilized poor hunting season. They utilized like a meteor shower going through. They picked these things, and they knew the people of this community were struggling, and they said, you know what's going to make them better? Believing that we're Jesus and killing everyone. And that's what they did. The whole aspect of, oh, I'm Jesus and I'm going to pick the strongest guy to kind of be my ally and advocate so that you guys will be intimidated of him. And he's the only one that can really hunt and fish. He's the best hunter and fisher here. So if you guys want to eat, you need to follow along. If you don't, we'll kill people like we did to Sarah over here. And now you're dead. Yeah, listen to us or you die. That's pretty much what they said to these poor people who were already suffering so much. And they're like, you got to listen to us. I'm going to kill you. So that's the reason why I really like the story. I like how Peter finally was like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. And kind of like toned himself in and was like, I'm killing my family. I'm killing all these individuals because they believe I'm Jesus and I'm telling them to do these things, and they're doing it. Faithful followers, but they're dying in the meantime. So I like how he toned himself in. He didn't go to jail for that long, but again, this is 1940s is quite a while ago. Over 100 or 75 years, not 100, but like 75 years ago. So it's quite a while. A lot of and again, generations still live on that little island. So it's a very hard subject. Like when he went back, they're all embarrassed to talk about it. They're embarrassed that they were manipulated into this, but it's not their fault that they were dealing with such a hard time and somebody used that to their advantage and took advantage of all these individuals. So my final thoughts are those. I really liked the story. I thought it was cool. It's not one of my best videos I ever made, but I still really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did too. Please, again, like and follow and subscribe. I'll put all my social links here. I'll put the like and subscribe down here, and please, please, please like and follow and subscribe. And like I said, once I hit 150 followers, I will be doing a giveaway, so please stay tuned for that. And if you haven't, like and subscribe so I can tell you the rest of the details that are going into that. If you like this look, let me know. I can let you guys know all the products I used. It's a little different, a little green, a little glowing. I really enjoyed it. I finally have lashes, which is great. And again, thank you guys so much for coming out and watching this video. I really enjoyed doing it, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. So I will see you guys on Thursday. Bye.